Welcome to Tuesday night. I'm Ken Marigolo. On behalf of the first members, we're just such a hard cut.
All right?
Puberty's a tough time, Ken.
God.
My voice is going to come in any moment now. I'm Ken Marigolo. Thank God it's Tuesday. Thank God, I guess. We're getting farther and farther away from the mess of Sunday. He's tracking.
I mean, at least we got Muff. At least we got that. So I don't, there's not, I mean, the list of good things is short after that.
He's Kevin Ricca.
It was truly a giant muff, but it wasn't big enough for us to, get the W. But I think after making those muff cakes last week, that had a lot to do with it. It was an old family recipe. And,
that may have been,
I don't know what the hell we're smiling about. That was so painful.
Yeah,
welcome.
Because it's over.
Greg, EO, Ken Harris, Robert Cohen. Appreciate you guys being amongst the first. If you see or hear anything you like, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate that. AGH
we had
in the house.
Hey, welcome back, sir.
Welcome back to the show.
What's up, man?
Subscribe if you haven't yet done that, folks who are tuning in for the first time. We are just a hair away from 5,000 subs. Let's get there on the show.
We were supposed to get two more subscribers last week, and Kevin was supposed to do the show.
Muffless?
Muffless.
that's a tall
How
order.
Fortuitous.
Or full muff.
How fortuitous.
It was something involving that.
Board will remind us. He had to do something.
Muff counts over 13.
I want to spend as little time as possible talking. We've covered this game. I feel no less than about 28 times over the last 5 years.
Watch last week's show.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's many shows that would work.
3 weeks ago.
We are going to go through. We're just because we're creatures of habit, and we're trying to wow you with our graphical prowess. We're going to run through some stats. We have to do it. We have to do this because we're not gonna do this one. Hold on, we're gonna come back to that. Let's just get right to it. This one again. There's one number here that just absolutely will never ever go away ever. 6 for 52. He's been sacked 40 times. Sam Howell, 22-42, 250 yards. I mean,
it's becoming a joke that he's on pace to we are on pace to obliterate the record.
We talked about last week, 76.
They had
is the
5
record.
sacks as a team on their way in.
On the season. Last in the league. And they out-schemed us, and they schooled us, and they took us to school. They drove us there, dropped us off, picked us up. I'm telling you right now, minus 267 yards in sacks on the season. As fans, it is so horrendous to witness.
Unbelievable.
Over and over again, we're in these down and distances that cannot be overcome. And it doesn't matter. All of a sudden, we're rolling. It's sack time. Someone's got to get the nickname Sacks.
Can I just get it off my chest, please?
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here for an hour and talk about whether Sam Howell is or isn't the guy.
I know I have numbers to back that up.
Why we're not getting the ball to McLaurin Moore,
we'll just go into
why
it.
we're doing this or why we're not doing that, because our line sucks.
Our line sucks.
We should not be surprised if this is what we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the year, because the line. They suck.
Okay, so before I give the stats that I brought to talk a little bit about what you're saying, T. And
defense is a totally different discussion.
The look of 5 offensive linemen standing with no defensive linemen near them because they're Sam Howell's underneath a pile of them. It's like the story of our season. Last year Norwell got the brunt of your and our wrath.
I usually don't do that.
I'm a Gates guy this year. I don't.
He was terrible.
He you know what, the thing when you say they out schemed us on the line, they were stunting, they were running around, and the shifting of passing off of your guy to the next guy, it just didn't happen.
No, there was no do-si-do. It was just it was a turnstile.
I thought Gates played the worst game on offensive line that I've seen in quite a while.
Do you want to know the most disappointing part?
Yeah.
16 times all year we've done this, 14 on Sunday. We protected with 7 or more. 14 times.
We
went max pro in this damn league, which you don't do. This is what I do. This is what you do in high school to protect your quarterback. This is what I do at the Little League level to protect my guy. 14 times we protected with 7 or more. in this game and still took 6 in the face. It's unreal, man. It's unreal.
I mean, and it's like, I mean, it's a joke.
And that's not all on
We talked about choreography. No. It's a total joke because there's zero choreography on this. They're not gelling. They're not moving together. They haven't come together as a unit.
We're not talented. We're not.
They haven't choreographed.
They're very handsome.
They're not choreographing.
Ugly. No, there's no dancer choreographer out there. It's just a bunch of guys on their own right now. They haven't come together. This is their only chance. When you're not a typical talented team, but no first round guy that you lean on, you need to come together at some level. And that's the worst part. Yep. That's our only chance. Well, and it's the worst we've been.
I don't think they're physically good enough.
I agree.
Well, the talent's not there.
The talent's not there.
The talent's not there. You can overcome that with something.
We're good enough to win a couple
have.
games. We're not good enough to be consistent. The only thing we're consistent at is giving up sacks. There's only one time all season we've given up less than 5, and that was 4. I mean, Jesus. We give up a minimum of 4 every time we walk out there.
Make it easier yourself and stop jumping off sides, for crying out loud. I mean, Jesus, why make it harder on yourself? There's physical limitations, and then there's mental mistakes.
And we get into
and when you compound them both, you're screwed.
We get into the discussion about, I mean, we've been talking about it all season. Whose fault is it? And I don't give a F anymore about whose fault it is. Our line's terrible, and Sam's a rookie, and he's making rookie errors. But here's some numbers for the based on what we got so far in the season, okay? Now, these are stats. Not everyone loves advanced stats. Not everyone has to. People can care less about them. We're 3 and 4. That's the only stat that matters. However, if you look at, for example, time to throw, TTY, these are next-gen stats. The NFL performs these. I've sat next to the next-gen guys. It's pretty crazy. This is starting at the top. So Tua Tagovailoa. 2.37 seconds. Now he's the fastest release man this year in the league. Typically not a great stat unless you're a quarterback, but in this case it's a great stat, being the fastest to release. Joe Burrow's up there. Trevor Lawrence is obviously up there.
Look at you getting gross.
But so here's your you go down the list. 2.78 seconds is Sam Howell. That's firmly in the middle of the pack. I mean, it's 16th, 17th. I don't know what it is. It's down there. You start at the top and you get to Sam Howell. He's 2.78 seconds. Like it doesn't seem it's like pouring over.
But that's
fractions
that's on
of a second. Yeah.
That's on average.
That's
so
time to throw.
That means Tua up at the top though is getting rid of the ball sometimes at 1 point something.
Sure.
And Howell's not even close to getting rid of that 1. He's probably more like 3.5. Yeah. So. I mean, there's
here's a different stat.
Huge difference in that.
Here's the pocket time. And so this is also, again, starting at the top, pocket time. This is, if you look over on the pressure category, it's the 4th category over from the top. Sorry, I know people have
any binocs?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is there a zoom lens? Maybe.
Josh Allen has, this is from... These aren't ranked by pocket time. Obviously, these are. I use the rankings. These are Fantasy Pros stats. So I'm just always trying to source them. And then
is that what PCT stands for?
PKT.
PKT.
PCT is percentage.
Which one you look? You said 4th one.
Sorry. I got some old guys here. I appreciate that. Yeah.
You said 4th one.
Which one? What's it mean?
You got games, passing, deep ball passing, pressure, and miscellany on the top row all the way across, right? So the pressure categories that the first pressure category is pocket time. Now you look, Brock Purdy for some reason is highlighted, but Sam Howell, I got this stat box. This is the rankings of quarterbacks based on all the stats put together. So it's the top 11 quarterbacks in the league, according to Fantasy Pros, based on a conglomeration of stats. But I got the pocket time stat in there, so you get the sense of the top quarterbacks, and I don't think we're arguing about the top quarterbacks here. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Tua, Kirk, Jared, Justin, Brock. Obviously, these are top quarterbacks. Sam Howell, number 11 on their ranking of quarterbacks.
Dangerous is in there?
Yeah, Dangerous still manages to make his way in the list. So 2.4 seconds of pocket time. So again, compare that with his time to throw on average is 2.78 seconds. He's getting 2.4 seconds of pocket time. Right away, you're starting to get a sense of the math. I mean, the math doesn't work there. He's not getting enough pocket time to make a throw on his average. Just for a point of reference, Tom Brady was the fastest release in the league last year at 2.4 something seconds. Over the course of 17 weeks, that was number 1 in the league.
He was throwing the ball about 50 times a game. It felt like at times last year. Remember that? That was sick.
Here's one for you guys. You guys get the answer first, or if you can beat the board. Fastest quarterback release time in the history of the NFL belongs to
Dan Marino.
100%.
It would have to be.
100%.
It's the quickest release, quickest draw in the history of my life.
So he's taking about 2.8 seconds to throw. He's getting about 2.4 seconds of time until pressure gets to him. These stats are carved up 10,000 different ways. I really looked for something that was like the most presentable thing. I mean, these nerdy stats guys, they get into it. And I was trying not to get too into the weeds because we're talking about fractions of a second. Well, but it's a graphical. It's numbers based on actual performance, and it shows you that he's not getting enough time to throw it in the time that he needs to throw. And I thought the consensus from the all 22 reviews of the Giants game was that for the first time this season, the sacks weren't largely on Sam. The sacks were largely on our line. And I think that it would be fair to say in the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, Sam probably, could have gotten rid of the ball a couple times to save himself on some sacks. Now he still would have gotten hit. I mean, these are all just a young guy getting
Look, he's also
brutalized.
Human. So when you're getting hit the most of anybody in the NFL and you're getting sacked the most of anybody in the NFL, when your eyes are supposed to be downfield, they may not be. Is that he's human?
Well, you have to protect
he knows
yourself.
It's coming.
Yeah. That's what I love about him. Yeah. He still hasn't done the beaten dog shit yet.
So is he holding the ball a little bit?
Yes.
You know why he's holding the ball? Because his line sucks.
Yeah. No. I don't. I'm with you on that. I thought that. Did you guys watch the Monday night game last night? Kirk and the 49ers.
Yeah, I did. Yes.
The only reason I bring it up because there was a couple instances of where Kirk Cousins got rid of the ball probably in 1 second or less because Bosa and some of those guys were bearing down on him for completions to guys who were running open. There was 1 sack, and I wish I could put the video on the screen, and I was worried about whether or not that would be okay or not. But there was a sack where and New York brought some all-out blitzes a couple times, and they rushed 7 or more multiple times. There was a play, why not? There was one play where Terry McLaurin, he kind of won right away on a inside slant, and he was running like this right across. Now again, Sam is a little bit of punch drunk, shell shocked at this point. So I don't. But the quick what these quarterbacks who are throwing it quick are doing. I mean, there was a lot of room. That would be the evolution that I guess I would want from. There's no criticism of Sam Howell or anything like that. I mean, he got sacked on the play. McLaurin won at the line of scrimmage and was running free, but he was underneath 4 defensive linemen. I
think it's easy. It's maybe easy to say there's at least 2 of those a game.
But the thing is, so last night Kirk Cousins, I noticed because I saw the replay of this play that Terry McLaurin won at the line of scrimmage and Sam got sacked and he could have thrown it up quickly, and I was like, and I thought to myself when I first saw the review of that play, and I'm like, how's a guy is getting sacked 40 times this year? How are you really going to expect him, to do that, especially on his 8th start or whatever? And then last night, both Brock and Kirk were making those throws, so that's an evolution I think we should be looking for.
Can I ask you this? Do you two have an opinion on whether or not our backup would be better?
Mm-hmm.
In that,
yeah,
I have an opinion. He would not.
No chance.
I don't think so.
By the way,
everybody's so quick to be like, let's.
He's so happy.
He's like looking around, like, I hope no one sees me over here.
Dude, he's like,
no.
He's
Coach,
wearing bench camouflage.
No, Coach, he's getting better at it.
He's so strong.
Yes.
He's so tough with these hits.
He's the first guy being like, "You're doing great, Sam. You're doing great."
I'll tell you right now,
I mean, if
Sam.
he does and he comes in and he's way better, then you know what? I'll eat crow, I guess. But
no way. You don't think that?
No.
Yeah. No.
Do we have a backup O-line somewhere, Steph?
Right.
Yeah.
Do we get the Hogs back?
We were spoiled by him, weren't we?
I think I didn't come here armed with hot Gates takes, other than I think he stunk, that's my first guy. But okay, how about this? I thought, and I'll hang up and listen after I say this. I thought Eric Bieniemy called his worst game of the year. in the first half. I thought he threw on 2nd and 1 and he threw on 2nd and 2 in the midst of terribleness. It didn't work. He threw the ball on 2nd and 3 like multiple times, 2nd and short when we couldn't protect. He was still throwing. I love throwing the ball. I appreciate that. That's the offense.
He is moving him out of the pocket a little bit.
But that happened after halftime.
Like you wanted him to.
That happened after halftime. That was a halftime adjustment, and it worked swimmingly. In fact, it worked so well. We scored 7 points, but only because the muff. But it was the right thing to do. It was a great adjustment. I don't know. I thought he had it. I thought Eric Bieniemy, he really was terrible.
1 and 15 on 3rd downs and 1 for 3 in the red zone. You guys know that is just the recipe for losing by 40. I don't know how we were still anywhere
in that
near
game.
because they stink. We lost to a shit team.
Yes, we did.
It's so horrible
for the second time this year.
Dude, we've beaten them twice in our last 9 contests. And you know how bad they've been over the last few years?
They were one of the worst teams in the NFL over the last 10 years.
Twice. We've beaten them 2 out of the last 9 times. I can't handle it, man. It's so gross.
You said a couple times tonight already, Ken, the defense was stunting, or Kevin called them dosey-dos, and they were bringing pressure. Do you see our defense doing that? Do you see? Do we stunt?
I got you. Don't worry, I got
you.
I don't think we do.
We're not a big stunt team.
No,
we're not. Not a lot of twists. Not a lot.
Our guys
were
getting. Our guys getting there. We have
four.
We have 4 bad
enough.
Hey,
we have 4 bad dudes
doing that
individually, but those guys, they've been fine. Hey, 14 points isn't terrible, especially there's more 3 and outs that I can possibly imagine. That when the offense just refuses to show up, you're just putting a lot of. And the defense was fine. Are they great? No, they're nowhere near what we thought they would be, and that sucks too. So. Hey, Tress Way punted 10 times for 513 yards with a 51.3 average.
Well. To Tress Way's,
but 10 punts, he got work, man. He's got to be exhausted. Ice that leg, sir.
Yeah.
Even me, I'm like, as much as I love Tress Way, I was sick of it. By the way, I went to the overtime game at FedEx in '97 against the Giants. It was the 7-7 tie.
The Farrat.
The Gus Farrat headbutt. We set the record for punts on that day. We have a tendency just to play ugly, terrible games against this team, mostly because we've been an ugly, terrible team, and so have they. And so, I couldn't believe, it looked like a bad high school game, in the sense that everyone was. It was just a terrible game.
It felt awful to watch.
It felt awful to watch.
And as we were discussing horror movies last week, it was unfolding right before our very eyes. And we all knew what the ending was going to be. Don't go in there. Oh, we did. We went right in there.
I had hope. I had hope all the way down to the end. And then, Jahan, I know was behind you, dude, but you get paid a lot of money.
That's a catch.
For that ball.
He knows it too.
To not be a catch.
He knew it right away. He was distraught.
Sickening. 17 play drive ends on a drop at the 1.
Yeah. By the way,
we lose again to the Giants.
Also, what we do. Yeah. We did it last year against the Falcons twice in a drive. So again, like we said on Hogs Haven and in the tweet for the show. I mean, this literally is a review of a game that we've done like just countless times.
And I don't want to mention the name of the man who never needs to be mentioned, but listen, it's hard just to scrub one layer off of him. It's like getting back from Vegas and trying to take that. You can't scrub it off your soul. This guy's got. There's a lot of stank on our soul right now as fans left by this guy. We can't get rid of it. It's the same shit because it's the same shit.
It's this absolute same shit. It's disconcerting, but again, this guy left the house in August, and he upper decked us in every bathroom.
He milked it. He definitely milked us.
He definitely every toilet in the house got upper decked by this guy.
How do you think that little bastard got up there?
I don't know. He had a little step stool to get the upper decker.
What a dick.
So it's going to take some time.
Turd swaggler.
It just swoggled the crap out of us. All right, so let's just race through some of this. So we get rid of this pocket time and let's talk about this. Is another disconcerting stat. Again, there's just no shortage of them.
Is that your word of the day?
Yeah, disconcerting. Okay.
Well, T's got a little pocket time over there. Can we get a stopwatch on that? I like it.
Yeah, what's going on?
It's pocket
Let's
time.
go back.
Coach.
My hands in my,
I don't know. I like to see everyone's hands.
I get it.
Hands above
Hands
the table.
on the table, gentlemen.
It is
I always
always
say
a
it.
rule.
No.
Generally
stop.
speaking.
Pat, could you stop the clock on the pocket time for tea? Thanks.
Yes. We're
All right, you can go back in there.
The average pocket time for. By the way, that was. I like what you did there. Let's go with running back stats. Chris Rodriguez ran hard. I loved it. 4.5 a carry.
He did.
Are we?
Are these stats after the first quarter? Like what the shit are we doing?
Are we at all worried about Brian Robinson
when your
Jr.?
line
Is anyone else
sucks,
worried
you
about
can't
Brian Robinson
run
Jr.?
it either.
Understood. Brian Robinson Jr. is a animal, and he is perfectly capable of getting it done.
I'm not worried about him. I'm sure he's got some worries though.
Yeah. Oh, sure he does. I could have used an extra yard out of Sam Howell. I thought a couple times he could have tucked and ran. I understand why he doesn't and trust his arm, but let's just say 1/2 more yard would have been worth it to a certain basement dwelling Italian who had a ticket in his hand. They just needed a 1/2 more yard.
Ooh.
Antonio Gibson.
The hook got you?
The hook got me. That's
Son of a
okay
bitch.
though.
Oh, you got a bad beat.
Got a bad beat. Let's go wide receiver stats.
Well, I don't bet.
Terry McLaurin, 9 targets. Like to see that in the double digits, but 90 yards.
Close.
All in the second half, I believe, correct?
It's close.
I think so.
No.
I think he had one first half target.
Really?
I'm not certain, but I thought I read that.
Yeah, I think all his yards were in the second half. We moved the ball with
I thought we
him.
targeted. Okay.
Is Logan Thomas getting slower? Can we just talk about that? I mean, I understand he's a stud. He's a big man. He's a quarterback's best friend. He almost catches the ball a lot. 12.8 per.
He may not
catch.
be 100%.
He's not.
First of all, he's never.
He's been good for us. But yes, he's no longer a burner.
Whatever
Was he
percentage he
ever
is
a
now is.
No, but he was a
That's
stretcher.
the highest. That's his high mark.
He could get to the seam. He created and make contested catches, but now he's not moving very well. And we saw that over the last few years with his injuries. It's just part of it. But
I mean, 8 targets for Jahan, 5 catches. Obviously, there's a couple he wants back. Byron Pringle caught a big ball. John Bates and Brian Robertson each were targeted. Again, I don't know. Nothing is great. I like that we're targeting Terry McLaurin. Great, whatever. I mean, it didn't matter. Wide receiver stats were good there. Let's talk a little bit about. All right, we'll just do this quickly. This just tells a lot of the tale. It's just one number.
The sacks just jumped out right away.
Sacks and the 1 for 15. I mean,
come on, man.
right away.
Sacks usually do jump out.
1 for 15. Just drop
Catch your eye.
Yeah, drop your sack right out.
Yeah.
We actually had the ball longer.
Third downs.
Third downs.
Awful.
1 for 15. That's it. You lose a 14-7 game and you don't
1
get,
for 15.
That's so bad.
Dude,
It's so
I
bad.
think the rest of the league average this week was like 6 for 12. Like that's
50-50.
the average for the rest of the league. We went for a 1 for 15 burger. Come on, man. Like it stinks to watch. It's gross.
At those clips right there, we should just jump the 4th down and go for it every time. We're so much better.
I don't know.
2 for 2.
2 for 3.
I mean,
2 for 3. Shit, I can't see.
It was close.
It was
That was adorable.
for a game that we were down 14. We just never felt like we were in this game. I just never felt like we were in this game.
I just can't believe it wasn't 40-0. It felt
There's no
like
flow
It
to
felt like
it.
it should have been.
There's no flow to it.
Our defense kept
They
us
never
in it.
got any sort of momentum. They never got any sort of rhythm. They got nothing.
It was 2 of the shittiest franchises the league has to offer right now.
I can't believe it was on TV. I kept saying that everyone. Like, I can't believe the network. That if I was a network exec,
should First Amendment do the next Commanders Giants game?
hell yes.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you right now,
I'm
since I've
available.
been doing a lot of traveling, my daughter's got volleyball right then and there, and it's only about a 5-minute ride, and on my phone, I've had to listen to Bram and Julie in London, and I'm telling you right now, London's great. The
London's
other 2
good.
make me want to punch my eyelids and then pull the eyelids over my ears so I can never
it's not
hear.
Good. It's not good.
Can someone tell Bram he's not
these
doing
people.
the TV, he's doing the radio?
Yeah.
He has to tell us. He's like, just say incomplete and then do all this stuff. He's
Yes.
like, incomplete. I'm like, God, I can't.
I know.
I can't do it.
Lead with that.
Can't do it. Everything is so frustrating. Why can't we
bad.
just be decent? John Allen, you're so right. Everything you said was right.
Everything he said was right. I let's put to rest. There's no way we're trading Jonathan Allen or Deron Payne or Terry McLaurin. All right, so let everyone just stop.
Well, that's not who everyone's talking about. They're talking about us trading one of these defensive ends.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, people are saying, oh, you know, if it's this, they're going back to the get rid of everything that's not nailed down situation. And I'm like, no. You're keeping Payne, Allen, and McLaurin no matter what. You have to. I don't think that's even like that's not even like a hot take. Like that's just like, are you kidding me?
And I don't think we're in any position to trade these other guys. The trade deadline's next week. I don't care what the deal is, but it would just signify that
no scuttlebutt.
How are they going to do it when they don't even know who's going to be around next year and what the plan is? But
interesting question though for you guys.
Yep.
Because I think 3 weeks ago or more, if we were asked, and I think we talked about it on the show, who would you take right then, Chase or Montez? And I'm almost sure all three of us said Montez.
Montez, yeah.
In 3 short weeks, I think that's changing a little bit the way that
Chase is one of the top pressure guys in the league. He is.
It's going to come down to money. We have plenty of money. By the way, the possibility of us signing them both still exists. We have all the money.
Dude.
We have
like
$100 million.
But we have no offensive linemen, none.
Well, guess what? First round, second round, both offensive linemen.
2 rookies. That's gonna be great.
That's the. How about I say 2 rookies and a free agent, and not these bargain basement Gates Wiley free agents. Although Wiley's name only got called that one time for the penalty. Thankfully, I mean he was involved in.
He tried to kill somebody after an interception. I don't mind that.
I don't mind it at all. I mean Gates literally was a maitre d'.
He tried to maul somebody, not maim them. But yeah, I listen. I wouldn't care if we did trade somebody. Honestly, at this point, who cares? Who cares? What the shit? We're gonna be like, oh, we got to keep him for the stretch.
There's no core of a 3-4 team.
Has anyone looked at our schedule? We're about to take a thumping, dude. We got 10 games to go, and it's about to be just a quadruple.
This was the easy part of our schedule.
No shit.
We're 3 and 4 through the heart of the easiest part of our schedule.
The next 5 teams we play won their last game.
Yes.
So we got that going for us.
Oops.
Yeah. So here we go. Philly.
They're probably all
back.
over 500.
Yeah. Well,
we got Bill Belichick.
New England just turned it around on Buffalo, and the Giants beat us. So those are the 2 sub 500s in the next 5 weeks. But Philly at Seattle and at Dallas. Oh, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving just took a different flavor.
But look how we played the Eagles 2 weeks ago.
I know. How about 8 for 17 versus them on 3rd down 2 weeks ago?
By the way, first round offensive linemen are one of the better bets in the draft, typically speaking. And you double down with the second round offensive lineman. I mean, we haven't put any resources towards our offensive line at all. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and we have enough money. We can be in the market, but we said it last week. The best offensive lineman, free agent, they got to want to come. So you got to put some people around him. And we have the money to pay them. They just got to they get to decide whether they want your money. And I don't know. I think they'd like to play with Sam Howell and Terry McLaurin and Brian Robinson. And we got to get a tight end. We got to get tackles.
Don't start. No, we got to get everything.
There's this thing called linebackers.
We do need one of those.
We've had no use for them for 4 years.
Our
coach is a linebacker. Our D coordinator is a linebacker.
We have no linebackers.
They count themselves as part of the crew. So.
I get it.
All right. Let's be done with the terribleness of getting to 3 and 4 against the lowly Giants.
Are we done? We're done.
We're done with that.
We're done.
We got the Eagles this week, and listen, if anyone was foolish enough to think that the Giants were a trap game for us, there's no trap game for 2 terrible teams. Both teams are trapped.
A trap game?
We're all trapped.
There should be a trap door, Scooby-Doo style, for both teams to fall into.
We're trapped.
It comes back up, and everyone's like, where'd it go? And no one gives a shit.
We're all trapped. It's a trap. It's like Star Wars style, a straight up trap for everybody involved.
Then you take Rob Harris's skin off his head, and it's Turd Burglar. Still
Turd Burglar.
Dun, dun. What?
And I would have got away with it too if it weren't for you,
God,
meddling
Jesus.
kids.
You figured out the mystery, Kevin.
AGH thinks that Bram Weinstein could be, if not a gift from the man whose name we never talk about, but could be him.
Satan's little gopher. I like that. I like that. We got to change that up. Unfortunately, it's terrible. It's a trap game for Philadelphia, if you're gonna look past anybody these days, it's gonna be us. So good luck with that, Philadelphia.
Trap game. I like what Greg wrote. We're all trapped. He was trapped in that stadium. We were all trapped by our television.
Yes.
It was horrific.
It was just a big, huge trap for everybody. I mean, we were all.
I at least didn't see the game in real time. It was completely over by the time I got back and hadn't looked at anything or seen anything, and I got to fast forward it really fast. At least I got to do that.
Yeah, I did not.
It wasn't a 3+ hour.
I had to live through it.
It was grinding.
It was so bad.
It really was.
And it got to the point where I already felt like we lost like 10 times before we actually lost. And even if I would have loved to have come out ahead at the end, but
I had hope.
Just felt like a
Hold
loss.
on. And then before the possible Hail Mary from midfield, the 10-second runoff, just I texted you guys, it's running down all over our legs right now.
Yes,
and and the drop to the 10-second runoff, dude, what the shit?
I mean, I think Payne was trying to draw a penalty, and he drew a clock wind up and game over. But you know what? If it was the right ending for that game for us.
I guess.
I don't know.
Watching that game hungover was no fun.
No.
I mean, just give me a bit of joy. Give me something to grasp onto.
Who are
us all of us? Shit.
Yeah, Greg.
I wasn't
Martin's
feeling too well myself.
Usually are Greg. Who's calling the game this week? You always know. NES Tecmo is asking. Who are we getting?
Dawkins.
Well, because we had to get Tiki.
Dawkins, Eagle, Ryan's Atlanta, and Tiki Giant. So
I mean,
jeez.
We're pretty much always facing. And Tiki totally like gianted us multiple times during the telecast. Matt Ryan actually had to like balance him out a little bit. I was a little. I just did not.
I'm mad at Tiki.
I'm mad that we keep getting the former players of the teams we're playing in the booth. They can't do it. I mean, they're not like First Amendment. Like I can call a McNamara game and not be in the tank for McNamara. Tiki Barber a couple of times. He was. I don't. First of all, I don't think Tiki Barber's great. By the way, we're not getting the great ones. Like we haven't been getting the great ones for years. Like we're getting after they put all the other ones down. They're like, oh, by the way, someone's got to go to the Redskins Giants game this week. Let's throw together. Matt Ryan is new to. He was coaching a flag football team. Maybe we can get him on a bye week from his kids flag league.
I think
Ken Harris said we got stink. We got a former skin on the call this week. Maybe that's what we need.
That's what it is.
Change our fortunes.
And Christina
Stink's
Pink,
good.
by the way.
I love Christina Pink.
So we got a stink and a pink.
We got steak and pink.
Yeah, we got them both. You walked right into that one.
This just got real bad, guys.
I think Ken Harris knew what he was doing.
One
Yeah,
with
we
the
got
pig.
one. There you go. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's how we do it against the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's just get right to it. What's the final score of this game? T, lead us off. I'm gonna go to my handy dandy list, which is our preseason predictions are completely obliterated right now. Not yours, by the way. You're pretty close.
Let's get. This isn't the game. They rebound. I don't think anybody's.
You don't think so?
Eagles
think
aren't
we got
getting
what it
trapped.
takes?
I think the way Jalen Hurts conducts himself alone as one of the leaders in that team, they're not getting trapped by anybody.
Yep.
This is going to be a 31-15.
15.
Ugly.
Just Joey Sly 5 times.
I think we need to get humble
Career
a little bit
day.
more before we're ready to.
More humble.
37-17. We're
That's
getting
even worse.
thumped. Dude, how else can you watch what we watch this week and think anything else but the thumping is coming?
I am doing what I hate. I was like dreading this part of the
This is
show.
the only game that you're
going
going to call a loss, isn't it?
Yeah.
How can't you, Ken?
I hate it. It makes me sad. But I think it's going to be like I'm saying 34-21 bad guys. I think we get, and I don't know. It just doesn't feel good. And the whole situation right now, it
Feels icky.
It just feels icky. Yeah. And like the thing is 2 weeks ago, when we're talking about the landscape of the league, I always like to talk about the landscape of the league. I'm a big landscaper. And
I mean, and your jazz hands are nothing to shake a stick at either.
Just landscaping here. I'm trying to landscape.
How do you manscape with your hands up there? That's getting
It's
really
not
freaky,
easy.
dude.
It's not easy.
Did you say landscape or manscape?
It's the
Manscape.
It's the manscape of the league. It's the manscape of the league. It was like a super wealthy upper class Chiefs, Eagles, Niners, Bills, Dolphins, and the Niners have taken it on the chin. The Eagles are rolling, but they're not undefeated anymore. The Bills are obviously taking it on the chin. The Dolphins aren't looking invincible, and so it's like we get into the middle of the season where the middle class of this league is kind of growing, and we're not in it. We're not in the middle. We're not even in the middle class.
No, we were.
We were.
Now we're falling out.
Now we're falling out, and you're trying to think to yourself like, are we the kind of team that can like I hate to say it, but like the Vikings, right? They were 2-4, and they're going against one of the best teams in the league on Monday Night Football, a place that hasn't really been a good spot for Kirk Cousins in prime time and all this other. And he's missing Justin Jefferson, and he throws for 350 yards. He looks like a Hall of Famer. If you watch that game, I mean, he looked great. It was actually unbelievable, and they stuck it to one of the best teams in the league, one of the best defenses in the league, and I'm like. That was a 2-4 team against the Niners. We're a 3-4 team against the Eagles. Like, do we have any chance of being that kind of ankle biting nuisance, team? And I'm like, and no,
we're not even that worthy.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They're the number one rush defense in the NFL, giving up 62.9 yards a game.
Yes.
Oh, well, that sounds great.
Let's get our running game going.
Our defense is bottom 4 in the league in yards, passing, and rushing. All of them.
Yeah.
Good. This is so much fun. I'm really having a great time. The only good thing is that the man whose name is never to be mentioned, we haven't uncovered his mask yet, but that's the only good thing about the season so far is that he's gone, and we've celebrated that already. It's done.
But
that's over. Now it's time to play some freaking football.
Guys.
I don't understand it 1 ounce. I haven't been able to figure it out. Every time they do it every year. They do this weird shit every year, and we talked about it, but it still sucks. We suck, and I hate it.
And why did the NFL give us the same crew that jobbed us against the Giants last year?
Nobody likes us.
No one likes us. I appreciated Ron Rivera pointing that out to the referees on a number of occasions. It's 2 years in a row now with you guys. But as I sit here with my arms folded, and I'm reminded of stoic Ron on the sideline. This is the point of the season, and I think we were here. We've been here multiple times with Ron mid-season, where we're like, all right, well, okay, so we're done with Ron, and then he like does something that totally redeems himself, and we're like, okay, maybe we can work with this guy for another year. But I mean, I still don't believe in mid-season firings. I don't think there's anything that would be. I don't think we're magically better because you fired Ron Rivera. I don't believe that at all.
You don't want to see Bieniemy get a crack at it?
I don't.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I do either.
Some are saying give him the crack whether you do it before.
Yeah.
Some are saying give Eric the crack whether you do it before the end of the season or when the season's over.
I don't think you walk. I mean, unless you believe that Ron Rivera has lost all the respect of the players, which I don't believe. I think I don't. Is he lost the locker room?
They respect him as a man.
Yes,
but as a coach, they're starting to have some serious doubts.
He said some.
I agree.
He's made some blunders.
I don't disagree with that at all.
He's made some blunders.
I'm closer
in his head coaching duties at pressers, handling a couple situations.
Yes. He's too even keeled.
He's done some great things
like, get upset
early on. I mean, he made some great moves, some tough moves that ended up being the right moves.
Yep.
So, I mean, I still think there's a chance for him to move over into a head office job. I think
I think that opportunity is evaporating.
Yeah. And then Eric gets rid of Del Rio and some of the,
I think
and spruces it up with his own
people. Who the fudge is going to be like, I'll take Ron Rivera to come pick my groceries.
Yeah, I don't. I think that ship is out to sea in international waters with Captain Turd Swagler at this point in time.
I know, but he steered the ship as best he could under.
And you know what? He deserves credit for straddling a terrible time for us. The pre-Turd Swagler, the Turd Swagler era, and then the post-Turd Swagler era. He deserves credit for that. I think there was a chance that he could have moved his way into something better in our organization. But what do you say? Like, good job signing Gates and Wiley to the worst offensive line in the history of the league. That was Ron, dude.
It wasn't all on him.
I mean,
everything's all on him.
I think Eric Bieniemy had.
Well, no, but it's all on Ron.
It's all on Ron, dude.
It's when it doesn't work, it's on Ron. I know, but he has to sign off on it. That's him. Yeah. Everything's him now. When you're the director of op, if you're the president, whatever the hell he is the guy. The buck stops with him, and that's why it's. Listen, I think he's a great guy.
I do too, and I'm
sure he's a great man.
And I don't want to fire him midseason,
but I don't care if we do or don't. I don't give a shit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Put it this way: do you want him coaching opening week next season?
No, I don't.
No, but firing him too.
No,
I don't either.
Well, firing him right now is.
I can't wait to answer that question when we go like five
I don't care. After Chicago and the New York Giants and the feeling I got and the product that we saw on television, I'm sorry. I thought we grew out of this shitty phase.
Eagles game.
Obviously, we have a decent matchup with them somehow, some way. I don't know what that means because the last two times we played against them, we've hung in there, and because we're physical as hell up front at spots, but we're also just dumb. God damn it, we're dumb.
He's also becoming like the guy who's just good enough to lose pretty, and for us, unfortunately, because of where we've been for the last 10 to 15 years, that's actually not a terrible result, but that can't be an aspiration for I mean, stabilizing the culture and righting the ship and separating the turd swaggle from the football part. That's success.
Here's the problem.
Mission accomplished.
After 4 years, after this season ends, the amount of wins versus the previous 4 years is going to be in the single digits.
Yeah,
we didn't have some tremendous turnaround.
No.
Yes, we're all proud of how about the win-loss stuff. That's barely changed. And games like this that remind us of this terrible era we just went through so familiarly, we got to get rid of this shit. We have to get rid of it somehow, some way. Just how about a good win? We get a good win once every year and a half. It's unreal, man. Like a great win, a big time W. Last year's Eagles game, yeah, great. Well,
our signature games are losses. Our signature games have been losses for the Chicago Bears game and the New York Giants game. Those are signature losses. Again, I hang it on Ron and Eric Bieniemy in both cases. I'm not done with Eric Bieniemy. I'm not saying that. I want him to continue to improve and work with Sam Howell, but. I answer your question, Kev. I do not want Ron. I want a new coach next year, and I
don't want it to be Eric Bieniemy.
Okay, so I'll answer the question honestly. No, based on right now where I sit right now, but that's an emotional thing. I thought he had a terrible game, and I'll say no just emotionally. But I think that there's things that could happen in the next. I mean, there's 10 games left. I'll grant that there's room for falling in love with an offensive coordinator in 10 weeks, but based on right now, I say no. I don't know. That's an emotional answer.
The Bieniemy stuff has to hash itself out. We can't base it on 1 week or 5 weeks or what the relationship with him and Sam Howell really is and how well they get along. If he's going to be, there's so many different factors, but I just can't imagine that anyone thought that this would be the case. Why would he leave Kansas City to come here and get sacked 40 times? Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing about our current ownership makeup is one thing I think that we're learning is that Magic Johnson has the ear, I think, of Josh Harris, and he has I'm not considering him an expert in football. But he's a professional athlete, and he
succeeds at a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
That he's not a professional or a expert in.
I think he's the kind of guy who'll go to Josh Harris and be like, "Hey, listen, man, you got to change it all up."
He's done well in baseball.
Yeah, no, I mean he understands the psyche of professional athletes. He knows he at least understands professional sports.
Yeah.
He knows when you don't show up. I mean that's it's so easy to diagnose. we don't show up, and he can see that.
No one came to.
No one came today.
Okay. No, I'll sit here and as Pat reminded me, he did show emotion. He showed fire.
Yes.
But you know what? Come on, dude. You've been sitting there so calm this whole time. The rest of us are throwing shit at our television.
Yes.
Bro, Help us out.
Yes.
Just do something different. How about that? Do something
Change
different.
it up. Change it.
Oh my gosh, man!
All right.
Might I get some whiskey? This is driving me
I
crazy.
got you. We're gonna open
you.
up a fresh bottle. I'm a big fan. Teeling, EO. If you're still in the house, I know you are. I love this stuff. Can you give me some? Can you ice me up?
Yeah.
We follow all COVID protocols in this basement.
Yeah.
Yes, I tried my best not to dig in my underwears before I came over. My best, I said. I tried my best.
Popped open a little Teeling.
There we go.
All right. I'm good. Thanks.
Don't worry. All right. So tonight's draft. To move on to the non-football part of our show, we appreciate again anyone who likes or sees or hears anything they do. Throw Kevin a thumb. He loves thumbs. I don't know what about it, what he loves necessarily about him, but he does.
Specifically opposable.
Yes, there you go. So I know we have some folks online who haven't yet given Kevin their thumb. Don't be stingy with that thumb. We're gonna go with a draft this week, and it's gonna be the worst Halloween candy. We will be here next Tuesday night on Halloween night eating some candy, but tonight we're gonna talk about
in costume, correct?
Wait, have we made that discussion? Because again,
Are we in costume?
I got a 4-year-old that's gonna be devastated if I'm like, I'm going to my show now, bud.
Well, dude, it gets dark at like 4:30
Okay,
now.
that's
We don't
true.
start till 9. So,
we'll see.
no, it won't. We don't fall back until the next week. So,
Yeah. Well, we can make a team decision. I'm
we're all in, dude.
okay.
Come on.
We're all in. Especially after this big win against the Eagles. I think it took. Like, I'm the worst when it comes to predicting wins and losses, and you guys know that. And I predicted a loss, therefore we should win. All right, worst Halloween candy. Now I'm going to throw up the board. I've prepared a long list of candy options. Kevin's going to pick first tonight.
Yes.
I'm going to stay in the 2 slot. T, you're going to go 3, and you're going to go back to back 3 and 4.
Back to backer.
You're a back to backer. And I like going back to back. Maybe how about this? We got a good suggestion from the board. Greg Martin said maybe we start closer to 9, give everyone a little bit extra time to hand out some candy. That's fine. We'll just it's just green room time for us. All right, here we go. Draft pick tonight. Kevin, you get to lead us off now. If I don't talk to these guys beforehand, I load up all of these guys in the chute. Number 1 pick overall for the worst Halloween candy. Now we can define that how you want. The worst one you want to get, the worst tasting candy, the whatever. I took it as when I would come home with my pillowcase full of candy, and I would dump it all out. The ones that I immediately said, all right, no, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Kevin, lead us off. Let's see if I got you.
Well, I think there might be a pretty standard number
okay.
1 choice out there, but I can't stand it, and I hate everything about it. Candy corn. Just
Number 1
can't stand
off
it.
the board.
Hate it.
All right,
Disgusting.
I got you. I do have that.
I think it's pretty gross, but my wife and my girls love them.
I don't understand.
They
look terrible. I'm not sure what they're supposed to look like.
By the way, that's a great picture though. It's so colorful.
But why the white tipped? It's just
What's it made of?
It's supposed to look like corn. It's sugar.
What's in
What's
it?
it made of?
Sugar.
It's just straight melted, coagulated sugar.
And then they dip the tip. Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Do they dip the tip, or is it all white and they do the yellow and the orange?
I don't know. I hate it.
What about the ones that have the chocolate tops?
Hate it.
Ew.
As if the color means anything.
These things are disgusting. I think like if you
What are
left
they
one
made
sitting
of?
there, it'd be around in 1 million years.
All right, so I do enjoy candy corn, but I also don't really eat much candy corn. But I don't.
Oh, Ken.
I know. I don't know why, dude. You know what? I think it's like habitual.
I get there's certain people that like it. I look at to each their
I wouldn't
own.
even say I like it.
I'm not being judgy about them liking it. I can't stand it. I hate how it looks and how it makes me feel.
All right, I get to go next. I'm gonna go these guys. Now the Necco
They're
wafers.
disgusting.
By the way, these are ever present. When I was a kid, I was surprised. I don't ever remember someone putting them in the bag, and then when I would dump the bag out, there were so many so many Necco wafers.
Ugh.
It's just chalk.
Where do you even buy them?
It's chalk. I don't know. There's a chalk store.
So I read a little blurb today that said the factory actually shut down in like 1970s, but they made so many that they just.
It actually shut down closer. It shut down in this century. It shut down in this. No. These guys.
It did shut down.
1847 is when the Necco factory first started. 1847, and they were making Necco wafers into the 2000s, well into the 2000s.
I mean, the people who make them, do they think they're good?
Somebody obviously did years and years ago, but they didn't have other shit, so I guess that was probably the best they had. If you don't have like a line of, you didn't have a 7-Eleven with like, you know, all the supersized candy bars and the stuff that we love. That could never taste good. I hate it. It was one of my top 3. Hatred.
All right, T, you get to go back to back. Necco wafers were number one.
It's definitely number one for me. I'm gonna kind of double up on Kevin's, and I'm gonna go with mellow,
take it
mellow
easy.
cream pumpkins.
Oh, I got you. Let's
Creamy
go.
pumpkin.
I mean, they're the pumpkin.
There you go. Mellow cream
pumpkin
pumpkins.
shape of.
They're so gross.
By the way, that bag.
They're the pumpkin of candy corn.
Think about that bag. If you buy that bag and you just pop it open,
there's like a butteriness to it. That's like
4.5 pounds. 4.5 pounds.
Oh God, why?
Made with real honey. It's made with real honey. But T, dude, I'm 100% with you. I don't know why I would eat candy corn and not like this, but I do. This to me seems gross. Candy corn seems okay, and this to me seems gross. It's the same stuff.
Same stuff with
It's
just
the exact same stuff.
different shapes and different colors.
All right,
That's all.
back to backer.
So I'm actually, this wasn't where I was going to go, but it's right there next to it, and it looks gross looking at it. Any bootleg gummies? So like the fingers. Like the Dracula finger gummy.
All right, so I know what you're talking about, but I don't have it on my...
I didn't think you would have the picture of it, but...
bootleg gummies. I saw that list.
Eyes.
I know what list you're talking about.
Whatever is not, Haribo and is like shaped into something else. It's disgusting.
Haribo gummy bears are legit. There's another... Doesn't Wonka have a gummy?
I don't know why you look at me after you ask that.
I just assume you're like
I know all the Wonka shit. Like I'm the Wonka guy.
Kevin Wonka.
Who hates Wonka? You hate Wonka.
You just love talking about Wonka every week. You figure out a way to incorporate Wonka.
I do. I love Willy Wonka.
So I hope it's an acceptable category. Bootleg.
It does. It does. All right. So I'm gonna go back. It's me, and I'll tell you right now. If I got this in my bag, I was upset. Because I knew I couldn't trade it because no one else wanted it. Good and plenty's. I don't know why people they took a good idea, Mike and Ike's, and they made it terrible.
I love Mike and Ike's. Hot tamales was a big thing for me.
I
back
like
in the
those.
day.
That was on a lot of the worst top 10.
They're great, but
I think they're great.
What a-hole decided to put black licorice into something? Like if I've ever eaten that, it's been by accident.
But it looks too pretty to be black licorice.
It's disgusting.
None of it works.
It's terrible. By the way, Ken Harris, I believe,
looks like Gonzaga candy. That's probably why.
What pink and white is not Gonzaga candy. Take it easy. It's at least breast cancer awareness candy.
It's not black and white.
It's not.
I agree, but I've accidentally eaten Good and Plenty, and you spit it out and you yell. If it had a face, I would punch it.
Yep. Just punch the box.
It does look like meds. It's like a bad episode of The Matrix.
For God's sake, sir.
Yeah,
we're live.
I'm gonna
the
get in
pink
trouble
or the white. All right, Kev, you get to go back to back. Let's see if I got you. So far, I've had everything except for eyeball gummies.
All right, well, I'm going to step up there and just take York peppermint patties. And
Oh,
put them right
I
in
love
there.
York
patties.
patties.
I bet you.
Bam,
they're
there they
so
are.
good.
Dude, it's not candy. It's not candy,
Yes,
dude.
it is candy. There's chocolate.
It's like mouthwash.
It's so gross, and it
love
makes your
them.
stomach hurt, and it gives you loose stools.
I love them.
Dude, it's the least amount of chocolate you can give somebody.
It's like chocolate toothpaste.
But it's
Jesus, T, did you hear what you just said?
It is. It's chocolate covered toothpaste.
That's exactly why I
like
picked it.
And it's not even enough chocolate.
I like the toothpaste that I
dark
use.
chocolate, and
With enough chocolate, I would do it. But York doesn't even give you the chocolate.
No, I like them. All
right.
To each his own.
I get it.
To each
Gross.
his own.
I kind of like them.
I know you do.
All right.
This.
There was a lady in my neighborhood that always passed them out, and I know it's more old school, but
Okay.
Circus peanuts.
Oh, I got
It's
you.
just,
I got
are
you.
you kidding me?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Are you joking?
Where are they?
Why do these things
They're high
exist?
on my list.
I gotta find them.
By the way, orange peanuts are gross. They're all shaped like peanuts.
They look like
Oh, here we go.
plastic figurines of peanuts.
Bam.
And
I never understood them. I was never
the
attracted.
taste is awful.
I always considered candy like this. I always thought that I was too smart for candy like this. Like my smarts, like I wasn't smart enough for calculus or science, but I was never outsmarted by circus peanuts. I never ever went for them. They made candy in shapes of things they thought kids would want, and I was never fooled.
No.
Ever.
No, you ate one, you're like, wow.
Never again.
Oh, why? It's a I hate you circus people.
Constant.
There's a lot of I've been saying hate a lot tonight. I'm sorry, but
all right, so I'll tell you what. I got a couple good ones lined up, but for my pick, I'm gonna go with something that I don't know how it's still around because it absolutely belongs. These need to go away.
Oh no, I like those.
I knew he was going to say that.
Dude, seriously,
I love you, Mary Jane. They're disgusting.
Gross.
I hate them.
Are all your couches in your house, T? Are they all park benches?
No,
because I feel like they might be
with plastic wrapping,
with like ducks.
There's
like,
nothing wrong with Mary Janes
and park benches in your house.
To each their own. If those were in my bag, they were definitely.
Pat, you eat Mary Janes?
They were a throw in to a trade later.
Dude, they were teeth breakers. They weren't like any kind of candy.
No, you gotta let them warm up in your mouth and get a little chewy.
Oh,
all right, okay.
God, Strachan is really on a roll tonight.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean,
all right, let's hear what you got.
If you rewatch this by candlelight.
See, that's not so gross. What is gross?
What do you got?
Wax Coke bottles.
All right, so I 100% agree with you. I couldn't find a good picture, and I didn't rock the wax.
Well, you
wax.
don't need a picture.
We've talked about the wax candy is a deal breaker.
You bite the wax, and
non-starter,
and then the sugar water comes out. And it's like,
the headache you get from chewing that wax.
That was fun the first time you did it because it was like the novelty of it.
It was.
And then after that, you're like, this is gross.
I would get a migraine chewing those things, and I'm sure that terrible sugar helped. But yeah, that's a good pick.
I convinced my kids at a young age that the wax candy was. But you go to the county fair up in the Montgomery County Ag Fair, and they had the.
My kids get them every time too.
And I'd come and I'd be like, "What? You got these again?" And then sure enough, they'd be in the back seat chewing on these wax things, probably eating the wax. Obviously,
that's probably not good for you.
Well, what do kids know? It's flavored at that point. You bite into it, and it's like a tasty Tide
for like
Pod.
1 second, like Fruit Stripes. It tasted good for like 2 bites, and then you just maul your brain.
And then it's all over the car, and you're driving home, and they're passed out because their sugar high crashed halfway on the way home.
How many rounds are we doing?
What do you got? You're going back to back. Give it to me.
I know, but how many? I'm gonna get one more on the way back. 2 more on the way back.
Yeah, you're gonna get 2 more.
2 more on the way back. All right. This really is. This was kind of up there with Necco wafers.
Okay.
Candy buttons.
Yeah, I got you. Here you go. Bam.
I mean, what are those? Do they even have taste?
It's sugar.
Yeah, it's straight sugar. I don't mind them. I would never get them.
I would never. I stopped.
I hated getting those in my freaking candy.
Well, no, because your mom took them because they weren't wrapped up. Some lady gave them to you like a receipt, and then my mom would take those. They were done. Remember, they would check for like razor blades and apples.
For razor blades because people were always trying to razor blade kids on Halloween night. It was a thing.
I think I had.
I'm gonna get these kids.
We were like at the TSA at home. I was like, is there a TSA agent in my house? They're just like
such
going
a
through my
refined
bag.
palate. I knew that this was not even something you should even attempt.
Okay, here's the problem with fun dots or what do you call buttons?
Candy buttons.
Candy buttons. The thing about these is you end up eating way too much paper.
You just went with it. It was so frustrating trying to scrape the paper off of it. You just went with it.
You're just eating paper.
It's like me with crabs. Eventually, I just eat the whole damn thing. Shrimp. If I can't peel that shell, I'm gobbling.
And
it.
I get.
I think at a certain age, you just realize, you know what? There's other candy.
It's just terrible candy.
I don't need to eat candy flavored paper.
It's terrible
anymore.
candy. No one goes, I want to go get some candy buttons.
It's also lazy candy. Like of all the like it's lazy candy. It's just someone who's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna like dribble some candy on paper, and kids are just gonna be happy to just like scrape and eat paper.
I bet a dude
it's the laziest candy ever. Sure,
invented them.
Sure, I mean, why not?
That's got to be right.
It's the laziest
quite
candy
the conspiracy theory, and I think
I'm gonna get down to the look that up.
All right,
some investigation.
All right, I got one for you guys. This is a terrible one. If you ever are opening, you're dumping your box, your pillowcase full of candy out.
Mine was always a pillowcase.
It's got to go pillowcase. And someone gives you a bag of pretzels. You're like, come on. I'm not. What am I eating a bratwurst and drinking a
but
craft
can you
beer?
call that the worst candy?
No,
it's not
because
candy.
if you get bags of pretzels in your Halloween bag, then it gets to be ranked as the worst candy because people are passing it off.
I don't think I ever got pretzels.
I got pretzels.
Did you ever get pretzels?
I don't recall,
I don't remember ever getting
but
pretzels.
if I did, I would have not liked it.
I want to know if
I don't like pretzels regardless.
Now,
Regardless.
should we make this
Irregardless,
Should we
even.
make this just the overall non-candy food?
I don't mind pretzels necessarily, like in the right spot.
No, it's a terrible Halloween candy.
It's a terrible
just
Halloween
as much
candy.
as like a bag of potato chips or a
Yes.
box of raisins.
I approach it as
hold on, no table talk over there because I'm going Raisinets with my next pick.
I had
That's
Raisinets,
different.
but I
That's
didn't have.
candy.
I don't have a picture for you.
Yeah,
That's candy.
I mean,
That's not a box of raisins.
I know.
But you get boxes of raisins.
You do.
I took it
Yeah.
as the things that I got
Whatever
in my
you got.
bag.
I got you, but
And
I'm
I-
a lawyer, and it's
and
not candy.
I
but
got pretzels.
You see where I'm going with that?
and I got raisins, and they were both.
And this might be unpopular.
Welcome.
My next pick might be unpopular with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But Tootsie Rolls were such a kick to the nuts.
Oh, they're so good.
Are they?
I love
Yes.
Tootsie Rolls.
Are they?
Yes.
Despise
Very,
them.
very similar to the Mary Jane.
Oh,
you gotta kind
God.
of let it,
It could
warm
last-
up.
Daryl
It could-
Green,
get
by the way.
gooey.
It could make it through a nuclear war.
I love.
Of
I love
course.
Tootsie
And
Rolls.
It's candy. It's sustenance.
It make
that
you
could-
fast.
Could survive.
I have never liked them for 1 second.
Yeah.
I've tried thousands of times.
They make
And
you
every
fast.
time I'm like, oh God, these things suck.
Make
man.
sure that you have some Tootsie Rolls on hand for when the bomb hits, because you're
I
gonna
don't,
need it.
but I hate them.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm hoping
it's
if-
gonna keep
if
you
the bomb
alive.
goes off, I'm thinking I got some Mary Jane still in.
I also
once you
hate,
get it-
I
once
hate
you
how
get
they
it
travel
soft-
through my
once you get it
body as
soft
well.
and kind of chewy, and then it's delicious.
But why do you have to soften up all your candies?
like
Steve?
Tootsie Pops?
Would you like hard candies?
All right,
No.
I'm not a
Don't
hard
table,
candy
You're not
guy.
your table talking.
Sorry.
Here you
Not a
go.
hard
Sorry.
candy guy.
Here you go. This one, I hated these.
Oh, it's so good.
Unmarked. First of all, I know why you love him, T. This is just the unmarked hard candy.
But he's a butterscotch guy. You
He's
knew
a
it?
Werther's butterscotch guy. Of course he is.
What the hell's wrong? What happened in your childhood that butterscotch sucks?
Oh, I don't know. There was 14,000 better candies, so I didn't F with these. I didn't-
Butterscotch is
my grandma
delicious.
didn't have them in the dish.
By the way,
I don't
this
know.
isn't just the butterscotches.
My
These
grandma
came in
did.
all colors and all flavors. Just the random assortment of unmarked wrapped hard candy that you weren't sure where it came from. I mean, you want name brand stuff. Okay, I guess that's what I'm getting at. I wanted name brand candy. I didn't want to get some. I didn't
So
want to
can
get
I
some
double up
rando.
on that with my next pick?
What do you got?
The non-Laffy Taffy.
All right,
The
so
wax paper taffy that has no name to it.
oh, by the way, I got it for you. Where is it? Where is it? There you go. Bam.
That stuff.
That's saltwater taffy right there.
No, not
It can
saltwater
be.
taffy.
And I don't like that.
I'm not
either.
calling not the saltwater
Right.
taffy that you get at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
The wax
Also overrated.
Also
covered.
overrated, but at least you know what it is.
Yep.
taffy that has no taste.
No, just taffy. You're like, wait, who makes
just-
this? You're like, I don't know, but it's taffy.
It's got no name.
Eat it.
All right,
I don't know.
back to back it.
I don't like it at all.
And I gotta go again. When you dump your bag. These all
Wait, whoa.
you dump
Time
your
out.
bag.
Time
I
out.
know.
Every
Your
single
bo-
chance
I
you
know, I
get,
punched the box and now I'm dumping the bag. I mean, look, I'm
Don't
feeling
dump your
freaky
bag,
tonight, right?
dude.
man.
We talked about this.
You see them because they're so bright and they're so and they're gross dots.
I hate dots.
So
And then
You-
the box of 3.
but they're yellow, and you see a whole bunch of them, and you're like, shit. Just give all the dots away.
I like dots. I didn't.
Do you have dots?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't have. I don't have
Because
dots.
you like dots.
Yeah,
See,
I don't mind
your
dots.
pictures. That
They're
you
like a
get
good gummy. It's
are
a name
only
brand
the
gummy.
Stuff that you don't like. You don't
no,
branch out.
no.
'Cause
I got some stuff on
you
here that I
assume
thought you
everybody
like.
else likes dots, and guess what? Nobody else likes dots.
I didn't assume they're not my favorite candy. I just there's so many
Sounds
there's
like
so
it
many
is.
worse
I mean-
candies than dots.
Same thing.
For example, how about these guys? Charleston Chew.
I have it on my list. It was my next choice.
Yes.
Look,
I hate
it's right
Charleston
there.
Chew.
Right,
It's the
right,
worst.
right under Raisinets.
I'm trying like hell. I remember I put on. I was like Bobby Bethard. I was trying to trade those Charleston Chews. I thought I was dealing. I did not want them, but I didn't want people to know how bad I hated them. And I was like, listen, how many Charleston chews is it going to take to get my hands on those Kit Kats, on those Nestle Crunches, or
Crackle?
Or Crackle. Oh, Crackle, by the way, is top 2. If we're being honest.
Crackle, crack.
Crackle, crack. Yeah, Charleston chews, done. All right, Kevin, you get 2.
All right. Well, backing up your Charleston chew, I'm going to go with the new school Charleston chew. The Three Musketeers suck. Sorry,
right.
but
I don't have it. I don't have it because I mean
it's
just the
nougat.
straight up.
Straight up. It's chocolate.
Yeah, I like candy
nougat.
bars. It's not my. It's my least favorite candy bar.
A lot of people hate it though. A lot
But
of
my
people hate it.
favorite candy
I
bar,
can't
as you
believe
guys know,
how popular and how long they've lasted.
No,
For how many people hate
no
it?
idea.
because
I like
the
it.
first one. Like it,
It's so rich. By the
just
way,
straight nougat and chocolate.
the fact that they sell those in king size, I know I'm doing this again, but that's too much Three Musketeers. A bite-sized Three Musketeers, fine.
But I've talked about this on the show. My number one candy bar right now, as we speak, is the salted caramel Milky Way, which is
It's got
Delightful.
caramel in it.
It's
and
delightful.
salt.
But I'm
I
just
love
going
it.
to say
Big
this.
great,
chunks
right?
of salt.
It's good,
They're
right?
Unbelievable.
If
Thank you.
inside the chocolate is just something called nougat, Nougat.
My doctor says I have a nougat deficiency.
So I don't
I'm gonna need
dislike
some
them,
more.
but they're the bottom of the totem pole.
I do have an
candy
urge to
bars.
visit a Cracker Barrel,
Right,
Ken
and
Harris.
Tease might throw something at me. And Greg Martin accused him of having wrapped up candies in a hanky in the back of his pocket right now.
Kevin, we pull into a Cracker Barrel on 95 on a road trip right now. What's your order?
The country breakfast.
Tea?
At Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. We're talking about terrible food right now. Ken Harris has a hankering for some Cracker Barrel.
I've been known to do the
Country breakfast is a great
country
call.
fried steak.
I'm you know what? I'm going off menu. I'm just piecing it together. I'm going French toast, scrapple, couple fried eggs, and a side of bacon.
All right, I'm going to make my other pick, and T's going to be mad at me, but I am so pissed at Bit O Honey. Bit
So delicious.
O Honey. I've tried to like it so many times.
It's Mary
don't have
Jane,
it.
but way better.
I'm gonna say
way better.
I've gotten a few Bito honeys, and
How could you like Bit of Honey and not Mary Jane?
I'm not saying I like Bito honey. I'm saying because it's I love Honey Nut Cheerios, and they're trying to play off that to me, and I also
Bit
don't
O
get them
Honey-
enough. I don't
Bit
get
O
them
Honey
enough.
has to be older than Honey Nut Cheerios.
But don't they have the same bee on it? It's kind of like the same bee.
Yeah, and Honey Nut Cheerios stole that from Bit O Honey, which is from like the 1800s, which is where the rest of T's favorite candies reside.
Yes, they are. Yes, they do.
Made the best
Yes, they
candy
do.
at the beginning.
All right. Let's see. How about this?
Give this guy a 5 pence and watch him go nuts downtown.
I think these guys get doubled up.
Hate
Almond
them.
Joy
Hate
Mounds.
them. Hate them. They're my last
Love
two. Look,
them.
Look, I'm down to Almond
I
Joy Mounds
love
and Bit of
them.
Honey.
They
That's
would
my
never
board.
be on
I'm
a
done.
worse
I have
thing
nothing
of
else.
anything. Come on, dude. Those
T.
are delicious.
You're literally keeping the worst
Love
candies
coconut.
alive.
I would
You're
rather
literally
eat a
keeping them alive.
pillowcase filled with
I
farts.
love coconut.
I would.
When the Girl Scout cookies coming around, give me the Samoas.
Dude,
Yeah,
almonds.
well,
Almond
Samoas are
Joy.
1,000 times
Mounds,
better
there's no
than Almond
difference
Joy and
between
Mounds.
the two of those.
Oh, shit.
Sorry. These I
I'll
would
take
hated
all
it.
your Almond Joy. I'd see what I did is I took all my dots immediately out and then took everybody.
I would
else's
trade
Almond
you.
Joy
I would
mounds.
take your dots for my
I took
almond
them all
joys.
day. I eat them all day.
I was
I
trying
ate all
like
the
hell
kids Almond Joy mounds. I
not
love
to
them.
get there, but you get the last pick.
That's why my worst list was so short.
The last pick of the draft goes to T Strack. Who's it going to be? Let's clear the board. See if I got it. Yeah. By the way, there's a lot of people who are crossing your house off their list. By the way, for Halloween.
No.
getting
I
candy.
give good candy. Are you kidding? I don't
Yeah,
give
no,
any of that stuff.
you liked some candy.
And
that,
once
No,
again, another one banger from T Stracker. I
I'm
give
a
good
giver.
candy.
Straight up
I'll be-
Snickers and Kit Kat.
The full
Okay.
bars?
I go the mini bars.
All right, Robert Cohen's
The
taking
actual
all
bar.
my mounds.
Not the squares. The squares are bull crap. I go with the
king size.
mini bars, not the king size.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Pr-
the king size is for me.
Print size.
so
Hold on.
This is a long drum roll. What do you got? What do you got? Do I have it on my
I know
list?
it's not Werther's.
No, we already talked about that. It's definitely not Werther's.
Hard
I'm
candy?
torn between either
Hard candy?
one thing that's not really candy, but is something you get
Okay.
and is
Pennies? Don't
a
do pennies.
cautionary tale
Don't do pennies.
versus an actual candy that is not going to be worthy of a drum roll.
What the shit are you talking about?
What do you got?
caramel apples.
Nope. I don't got that. But
Don't
by the way,
get 'em.
I got them. I
Don't
have
get
gotten them.
Don't take them, kids.
They're wrapped in a
Do
plastic
not
bag.
take 'em.
and engulfed in razor blades.
Do not take them. But I was gonna say snow caps or something like that. I mean, like
Snow caps would have been great.
I don't like snow caps.
May I just ask one quick question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because this never existed after, and I'm the only one in my family that ever actually did it. Did you guys ever wrap your hands behind your back and bob for apples at a Halloween function?
When I was a real little kid.
At
Yeah,
St. James
bobbing
Shawano,
for apples was a
at
thing,
the
yes.
church. We had
nursery school.
and I remember all the adults were around it, and I was like, "That's
Never
so
done it
gross."
as an adult.
Like I watched some kid's dad plunge his head in there, and like it was just like everything, the whole nine. And I was
yeah.
like, I don't think I want it. I remember my parents were like, "No, go in there, get after it. You got it. We can get you an apple." I was like, "I don't want to do it."
Can you, in
I don't wanna
the
do
age
it.
of the COVID pandemic, and we're
nursery
all
school.
dipping our heads in a
Mouths filled.
bucket of water and
A
apples.
gross, unclean bucket of
they're
tap
coming out with an
water with an apple in it, bobbing for apples. Dude, I don't think that shit is around anymore.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's coming back, unless they put some caramel on it. T. But you know, how about this? Like, I have gotten like the individually wrapped caramel apple, but I will also say this: in the last few years at the county fair, when you go to the place where they're making the fudge and the Rice Krispie treats like right in front of you, and they take and you get an apple on a stick, and they'll dip it in all the different things for you. I'm gonna have that apple, and then you just serve it and they give it to you. It's like caramel.
That's because it's a business. That's you could sue if you get sick. This
I'm not worried about getting sick.
come from the old lady.
I'm not
around the
worried about
corner.
getting sick. Any of the stuff I'm eating at a county fair, I'm assuming I'm getting sick. I'm already getting sick. I don't even fried Oreos, whatever I'm eating all of it, and I'm accepting the sickness. But I'll let them when they'll dip that apple in just about everything, and I'll have it. How about this?
You'll dip your apple in anything.
I will dip my apple in everything.
I'll dip my apples
All
in
right.
it.
Here's what was not picked. How about these guys? The candy necklace.
Now, see,
They're
I
all
brought that
right.
up, but the actual candy is actually not bad.
I liked them,
Okay. All right.
It's when the necklace
but
breaks.
you can only have a couple. You can't just eat the
Yeah,
whole
also
damn necklace.
not
and you're
picked.
like,
Black licorice.
Gross. That was the only other
Good,
one on my
good and
list.
plenty was kind of my black
That never-
licorice
Yes, yes.
expression because it's.
But
I
straight
hate it.
black licorice.
Laffy Taffy. I don't know.
I
kinda
love
Taffy's
Laffy
great.
Taffy.
I got over Laffy Taffy.
That's why
I
I
know,
said the
and you also, I know you like
non-Laffy
hot
Taffy.
I
tamales.
love hot
'em.
tamales. At the movie theater, I got hot
They're
tamales, and someone on here hates Mike and Ike's. I saw.
Double
See,
bubble.
It's so good for the first 30 seconds.
I don't know. That's rock hard though. You have to have a
It's
strong
so
jaw.
rock
you have to
hard.
Just like the
Oh,
bazooka
yeah.
gum. It's
Agreed.
so good for 30
Oh,
seconds.
oh.
It's so good. And then it turns to shit really fast.
That's why they put a comic strip in there because at
That's
least you're distracted. You're like,
Yeah. Yep.
We have.
What about red vine versus I don't like red vines. Red vines are gross.
but
yeah.
it's fine.
I didn't like them. I don't like Twizzlers anymore.
Twizzlers are
I used to
at
love
least
them.
good.
Now I hate them. I don't know
but
why.
the knockoff crap and the red
Yeah.
vine stuff. Like when you go to the movie theater and they have red vine instead of Twizzlers, you're like,
Yeah.
dude, really?
My movie theater game is Nestle Crunch bunches and Twizzlers and nachos and a hot dog.
what the and Charmin? How much Charmin do you bring along?
Listen, I'm not trying to live forever.
Baby
I
wipes?
made that clear a long time
No, but
ago.
you're trying to ruin the
I hope
movie
you
for
don't go to the
everyone.
movies a lot.
I just need to get through 2 hours. I just need to get through 2 hours of this movie.
And by the way, it's peanut M&Ms and popcorn with a Coke. I mean,
I let someone else get the popcorn,
I'm a
and
milk
I'm gonna
dud guy.
dip into it.
I'm a
Milk duds
milk
are
dud
fine.
guy.
Milk
I'm a
duds.
milk dud
Do you put
guy.
your milk duds in the popcorn?
No.
That's a weird thing, but people do. Do you? Do you do it?
what?
You put your milk duds
No,
in the
but I
popcorn?
eat a handful of peanut M&Ms followed by a handful of popcorn, and then I proceed
Yeah.
to do that until everything's gone.
Yes. It gets super weird.
And we sneak the peanut M&Ms in. I mean,
Of course.
Aaron knows to grab
Peanut
the big
M&Ms
purse.
are good.
You got to grab the
Have
big
you
purse
tried
for
the
the movies.
coffee M&Ms?
I'm not a big coffee guy.
Oh my God, they're so good.
I
So
mean,
good.
I can get behind coffee M&Ms way before your.
So it's actually
Hold
like
on.
a
Unmarked
mocha
hard
coffee.
T,
It's like
T
mocha
can't see
coffee.
this, so I'm going to ask him. Ken Harris is ever putting in their.
I saw it.
All right.
I'm down.
I knew you
What,
would.
caramel
be.
creams?
Caramel creams.
But I never
I got no
had
problem
one
with
until
caramel
like
creams.
When the
3 or
cream
4
part
years ago.
disintegrates in your mouth, you're like.
Oh, it's so good.
So I would poke it out. You can poke it out with a pencil, and
Yeah.
the eraser would go right through, and then the
I think
caramel.
they go well together.
Ew, it's not cream. What is it?
I didn't even try it for the first time until about.
It's candy corn.
I didn't have the
Ew,
nerve.
it crumbles
to try
in your mouth.
I didn't have the nerve to try it until about 3 years ago, and I was like, "It's pretty good." So I see. I told you,
we've all done the vodka with Starburst. That's the thing.
Sure,
no problem there. And also NES gets the last comment of the night. It's the number one candy in all of America. It has been for a while. It's the undisputed king. It's Reese's. Now, of
Reese's or Reese's Pieces.
Now, I love at the movie theater
because I love both.
I'm 100% buying Reese's Pieces.
They're delicious, and ET loved them, so I love them too.
I will if they sell them at the movie theater. I buy them. But
I am a Reese's peanut butter cup fanatic.
Oh,
in America,
me too.
The number one candy,
especially when put it on ice
Halloween,
cream. The Blizzard is the best.
Reese's peanut butter cups has been the number one candy in America for Halloween for years.
The pumpkins are amazing. The egg is my favorite of all time. I love a little more peanut butter. I love it all. They're amazing. That's them and peanut M&Ms are my number one and my number two.
It's just that's this sign of you're like, oh, I invented the greatness of chocolated peanut butter. Yeah, good for you. But it's amazing.
Whoppers. We forgot to say Whoppers. That's what Ken Harris.
I love Whoppers.
Yeah, I bet you guys do. Guess what? Whoppers. You can go somewhere.
I love Whoppers.
There's a big old milk thing of it. You're like, that no one ever finishes those things.
No,
and they don't put them in a thing for milk because they're great.
I love Whoppers.
Again,
what is it?
I'm not trying to live forever.
It's a malt ball.
What is that?
A ball of malt.
Why?
It's old school. It's like oldest. Like it's an old school candy. I don't know what it is either.
Mixed with the chocolate.
It's crunchy and chocolatey and
malty.
Coffee
you bite in.
I mean, it's like
it's
like
a Whopper.
Whoppers is Milk Duds, Rolos in that same category.
Rolos are great too.
Great.
I love Rolos.
I'm a Rolo guy. Yeah.
Rolos are amazing. Yeah. We're getting into the things we love. All right, we're going to talk. We got a draft coming for you guys next week. We got some interesting ideas. Next week is going to be a surprise draft. We're going to decide what it is, and we're going to bring it to you on Halloween night. Might have a little bit of theme to it.
Ken's going to tell us right before we head over. So,
or on the air. 3 and 4, my friends. We've been here before. It's terrible. It sucks. Let's just get through it. Let's just get through it together. We're already at the point where we're getting through stuff together. We'll be back in 7 days to talk about some football and also to have some fun. Eat some Strachan.
It's so appropriate. We did the worst candy draft on a show where we just talked about how we're one of the worst. We're the Necco wafers. We're not the Necco wafers.
We're not the Necco wafers.
What are we? We are the black licorice.
Three Musketeers.
We're
good and plenties.
We're the good and plenties.
No, but the problem is our averageness. We do have 3 wins to our 4 losses, but it's like, this is so milky. This is so Three Musketeer-y.
Right.
We're just nougat is what we are. We're fucking nougat.
By the way, I've gotten over Three Musketeers. I'll still eat them, but there's so many other things to eat before.
Of course.
You'd reach for. He's Kevin Ricca.
And I would rather eat 3 gallons of Whoppers than watch what I watched last Sunday. Let's hope that this Sunday is a tad bit better.
AGH is cheerful that the Caps are worse than the Redskins, or the Redskins are better than the Caps. That hasn't been a thing for a while. It's going to be a long season for us, AGH, on the ice. We're going to get there. Unlabeled wrapped football team candy. I understand. I got that. All right, listen. Stay together. Stay calm. Stay cool. Stay collected. We got a big game this week. We're the trappers, not the trapeze. Just remember that. From a trapeze artist like Tim Strachan. We're back in 7 days. I'm Ken Marangolo. This was, thank God it's Tuesday. We are still live.
You like some old ass candy, man. Old ass candy.
I mean, candy's good no matter when it's made.
Wait, that can't be true.
Yeah, it is.
No matter when it's made.
Butterscotch made in the 70s is just as good today as it was the day it was made.
Because you're eating butterscotch that was made in the 70s. That's why.